behind the frightening screams of the Fright Zone, there are beasts. There are monsters. There are villains of every kind under the leadership of either Hordak or Skeletor. These evils range from all over the universe, but they have culminated here at the Fright Zone to be introduced to the speedster himself, Dragstor.
Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe Masterverse new Etheria review. I did not realize that Dragstor was an actual horde. I was thinking he was just one of Skeletor's minions, so that's something I've learned already. And we're just getting started. But yes, a new Etheria review by Masterverse. Just take a look at that wild-looking character. Man, I'm not really that familiar with Dragstor. This is my very first Dragstor. So I'm excited about checking him out. I think this is just wild. And then there is the back showing him in all of his glory, showing the things he can do. He's like a drag racer. I mean, he's got wheels. He can take off. But he's also got like a horde style type. Usually they have a crossbow, and this may be what that is. I can't really tell. Looks almost like a blaster of some sort. And then also, oh man, look, he's even got mufflers, you know. That's what it looks like. Kind of like a backpack muffler. May be able to launch him to, you know, be able to speed, turbo boost kind of thing. And then there is his bio. If you'd like to take a quick look at that and read it, you can. But there are the other two that we've already reviewed. But let's go ahead and break open this guy. You can see there is our Grizzlord there on the front of the box. There's some smoke where that muffler, that turbo, he's just charging through. Wow. Okay. And again, you got him strapped to something there. Maybe that's when they were creating him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the story is behind this guy as far as overall. There's Extendor behind He-Man. Caught a look at him. That's kind of cool. Reckon we'll get him in maybe a Matty Collector. I'm sorry, throwback of Matty Collector days. Maybe like a Mattel Creation / Club Grayskull creation special or something. Maybe. There's Masterverse. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and break open our Dragstor. Yes, none other than the Fright Zone. We're still sticking with the Fright Zone right now. And first, to take a look at Dragstor's accessories. He comes with two sets of hands, kinda. One set is your normal weapon holding hand. As you can see, they're both horizontally hinged. And then the other set are literal wheels. Literal wheels that spin, that will attach to be able to allow Dragstor to do his gimmick. Now, even though his chest armor is attached, you can see there's a built-in wheel right there in his chest, and it does spin. As I was illustrating there, it does spin. So that's really cool, and it spins really well. But he has a really cool head sculpt, complete with helmet built in. I don't know, I get the idea of like muffler type looks here, car parts, I don't know. But yeah, like I said earlier, he is a part of the Horde, and I had forgotten that. And but he's really cool. And then he also comes with a backpack / weapon This can be his mufflers that attach to his back that allow him to turbo boost into his driving, riding, tearing up the road, dragging through the streets of Eternia to kick some He-Man butt or She-Ra or whatever. Or he can hold it with a handle that's on the opposite side of that, and it be kind of like the, Horde reminiscent typical crossbow looking thing. But in this case, it looks more like a double barrel laser cannon gun. But those are his accessories. So now let's take a look at our Dragstor's Articulation. All right, bringing our Dragstor on in here. He is just looking so epic, so neat here. And I'll go ahead and show you how you can plug that backpack type piece right there on his back. And that is looking so neat. It does look like mufflers, and then he's got the turbo. So he can go. I'd love to even make him fly, when he's not riding on his belly, on his chest. But you can see there's also a handle here for him to hold it, and it also be a gun. Now, unfortunately, none of this comes apart, but it would have been neat if maybe like they had it where this part snapped off, the muffler part snapped off, and you could snap them into his back and then just have that middle section. That would have been neat, but it's still pretty cool looking. I'll show you what he looks like on the back there before we put it on. A lot of nice silver, metallic silver going on, just, parts that are just plugged in. I don't even mind that much that they didn't paint that silver on this particular figure. I just think the blue stands out really well, especially this really cool head sculpt. I just like the way that looks. Those eyes are just really well painted, really well done. He's got the Horde symbol on his helmet, got almost like treads on his helmet, kind of, in a way. But he's going to look up a really, really good amount, and that's good, because if he's doing his belly thing, he's going to need to be able to, look straight ahead. He's going to be able to look down a really good amount there. He's also going to get excellent head pivot. So that's, already he's ahead of the game, side to side, of course. But it's just really neat. And none of this really does anything. I mean, it's a soft plastic, but the helmet does not come off. It's kind of glued on, but everything looks really neat. It's kind of a shadow there underneath that helmet, but you can see those eyes pretty good. It doesn't look like it has like the plastic coating over the eyes like we've seen in some of the other figures this go around, but it still looks good because of the shiny orange paint they used. Now his arm will go full 360 around. He's going to be able to strike his T pose there with no problems. He also has bicep swivel double jointed elbows there that get pretty good range. It's hard to get that one to kind of break loose, but it did work out there. And he also has swivel and horizontal hinge on both of these hands. We get no diaphragm ball joint this time because he's got that, wheel gimmick. So we had to sacrifice that. It would have been neat if they would have went ahead and put in a different kind of waist and given us a ball joint there so he could have still bent over. But maybe the fact that it's stiff here will help him with his gimmick. We'll see. But there you have him with his chest, of course, wheel turns, and his swivel. He will get full splits with those legs. He does have the drop down method, but it doesn't seem like it's as much as we normally get. It's very limited there. He does get thigh rotation. He'll kick up about that much. He does have double jointed knees, which get pretty good range there as well. He does have boot cut. He also has the ability to go full tiptoes there. Ability to go up until it hits that curve there on his boot. Also has rockers with a peg hole in the bottom. So this guy is limited some with his articulation compared to some Masterverse figures, but he looks very impressive. Unfortunately, I do not have a Classics Dragstor to compare him to, but I just think this figure you know, is done very well. I can't see the classics being any better than this. I mean, with the exception of the double jointed elbows here in the top part, I would almost say that he has the quality and the weight and the feel in his plastic chest of everything as a classics figure. I mean, that's how well he's done here, in my opinion, and it just looks really good. I even like these parts here on his legs, and like I said, can't compare it much with, oh, you know what, those are actually, okay, trying to figure that out. Those parts there are not glued on, but this part is, I think. Let me check and see. Okay, so this part here is not molded in. It is overlapping the thigh. This is a loose band here, but see how where the thigh attaches to the hip, there's another circle that's attached to this that goes into that leg. So that is very interesting the way they chose to do that. How about that? But without further ado, now that we've looked at his articulation, let's go ahead and look at these hands being swapped out. Now you just basically unplug. They're hard to unplug because they do have the thicker pegs, unlike what we got originally with Masterverse. And I'm going to go ahead and pop those on because I don't think they have left or right written on them anywhere now. So let me go ahead and pop that on for you here, and I'll do the other one off camera, but there you can see it popping right into that peg hole. All right, I think I can help everybody out. Now, it appears that in the box, they're expecting his hands to go forward like that, and him being able to basically blast through the street with the tire in his chest, and these two with no wheels in the back. I guess these I don't know, pads are just supposed to scrape and drag, you know, kind of thing. And it even shows it here. Look really close here at how they've got it. But I have bad news. If you were to do that, now I'll illustrate right now, even if you make them just as straight as you can, and even if you try to rotate, because I think those are meant to get out of the way, if you try to lay it down there like that, you're not going to be, your chest wheel's not touching, even though I've got those legs as far out of the way as possible. The wheel on the chest is not touching, but also take a look. The wheels on the front are not turning either because of these plastic parts right here. Won't allow the wheel to touch. And even if I go like that, so that they do, that chest is not going to, I mean, he's basically going to have to do a handstand. I mean, so there is a way around it. You put these tires back here like this, kind of at an angle, like a tricycle. And now, well, let's tilt his head up. Get him as far back as you can. Now he will roll. He will roll on his chest and his back wheels, and everything's touching. Everything is touching. As you can see, I'll try to illustrate with my hand. See, it's touching there, and it's touching there. Both tires, you can see they're turning, and you can feel that it's so you could. But yeah, he will roll when you do him like that, and that'll work. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There is a couple of issues. One, his face doesn't quite look up high enough. And you see in the box art, it does kind of show his head going up, almost like he's, I don't know, looking at the road. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I guess I guess I see it. But as you can see there, it will roll. And you could even get those legs turned out a little bit more. But yeah, it's rolling now. He's rolling. Yeah, and Skeletor says, I am a little bit disappointed. I was hoping we could have a race with that muscle-bound fool. Oh, come on, Dragstor. Maybe you and Evil Lyn can come up with a solution for your lower body. But anyway, yeah, I mean, maybe if they had figured out a way to attach a wheel to his boots to hold back there, and then stretch these out and not put that little part there on there so low, because that touches before the wheels touch. These plastic pieces here touch before the wheels touch if you go straight out. Now if they had put a hinge, you could have hinged this down a little bit and maybe got the wheels to touch like so. But you can see there, he's rolling fine there, but when you start lowering him to his chest, it hits these things first, even when you try to get him out of the way before it does his chest wheel, and it hits these plastic things. So everything's just dragging. You can hear it just dragging instead of rolling. So there is a workaround. You just have to put those wheels, as I said, down on his side, and then he can get all three wheels going, and that's cool. They should have made it where this wheel popped out some more, and then that could have maybe fixed it. Like it could have, popped out a little bit, had a tray where it popped out, just give it a little bit more length from his chest. That may have also helped fix it, but he's still very cool that you can make it work and make Dragstor race down the road. And now let's do some comparisons. There we are. And here is our three villains in this wave. That's right, we have three villains in the same wave and nobody else. Well, of course, this can be Adora, and I did order another one so that I can have just an Adora. So I got her coming from Entertainment Earth. Got these at Big Bad Toy Store, but I had ordered some other stuff from Entertainment Earth, so I went ahead and put her in there with that to get the free shipping. But there is Dragstor, Despara, and Keldor. Now, my question is, who is your favorite in this line? And that's a tough one, because I didn't think I was going to really like any of them, to be honest with you. When I first heard these announcements, like and I like all three of them now, but I can't really pick a favorite. Now if I go by use, then I would say Adora, because Despara, maybe some, when I do my Horde pictures with the Fright Zone back here, and definitely we need Shadow Weaver and Hordak and I keep saying Captain of the Guard, but it was like Force Soldier Leader or something like that. Anyway, she was in charge of the Horde troops, kind of like Teela was in charge of King Randor's guard. But anyway, I can see her maybe being my favorite just from the standpoint of usability. But I really like Keldor because of the story that is packed in with him. Whether you go with Mike Young's story or the new Eternia story, either way, this is just a well designed and cool looking figure. I just like the way he looks, and I'm tickled to have him in the collection. And then I never had a Dragstor, but I don't really like the fact that I don't have ab crunch there, and the fact that the wheel stuff doesn't work, but the overall look of this character and build of this character is top of the line. Really nice for a $27, $28 figure. I mean, excellent figure. But I'm just not that impressed with any of them to say one is my favorite. But I'm impressed with all of them enough to say this is a good wave. Better than I expected. There's a lot I would have wanted them to have done different about Adora / Despera, and then I could have easily said she was my favorite. Easily. But there was just a lot of things. But anyway, that is this wave in its complete form. Let's look at a few other comparisons. And man, I have to say that these new Etheria Princes of Power villains that are part of the Horde are really shaping out to look really stellar, really good. Cannot deny it. They're just looking really, really awesome. I think they look tremendous. So yeah, I'm happy with them. Very much happy with the way they're looking, the way they're turning out here. Excellent. Mantenna, Ninjor, and Leech. And here is one of our Horde troopers. And Grizzlor looking so cool. And then, of course, our Dragstor next to their leader, Hordak. Looking awesome. And there's Katra hovering, sneaking around back there like a cat as well. Oh man, just such a cool figure, such a cool character. I'm liking him. Hope you've enjoyed this Super Dave review, and I hope you'll come back and see us again soon. Here's some photos in the photo gallery. Be blessed.